Every year, without traffic signs, without roads, without GPS, billions of birds begin a journey. Some travel hundreds of miles. Others cross entire continents. A few fly across oceans where there's nothing below them, no trees, no mountains, not even a place to rest. And somehow, they arrive exactly where they intended. The same forest, the same lake, sometimes the very same tree. Year after year, imagine closing your eyes, being dropped thousands of miles from home, and somehow finding your way back without ever looking at a map. It sounds impossible, yet birds have been doing exactly that for thousands of years. Scientists have tracked them with satellites, tiny GPS transmitters, weather radar, and even airplanes. The more they discovered, the stranger the mystery became, because birds don't appear to follow a single navigation system. Instead, they seem to combine several invisible guides, creating a map unlike anything humans have ever built. Some researchers believe they follow the position of the sun. Others point toward the stars. Some think they can actually sense Earth's magnetic field, an invisible force surrounding our planet that humans can't naturally see or feel. But even after decades of research, no one can fully explain how a bird weighing less than a handful of coins can cross thousands of miles through storms, darkness, and unfamiliar landscapes without getting hopelessly lost. So, what exactly are they following? And what if, right above your head, there's an invisible highway that has existed long before the first human road was ever built? Tonight, we're uncovering one of nature's greatest navigation mysteries. And by the end, you may never look at the sky the same way again. At first, scientists believed birds simply memorized landmarks. A river here, a mountain there, a coastline stretching toward the horizon. That explanation made sense, until researchers noticed something impossible. Young migratory birds, making their very first journey, were reaching destinations they had never seen before. No parent leading them, no experienced guide, yet somehow they already knew which direction to fly. It was as if part of the journey had been written into them before they ever left the nest. Inside a brain no larger than a marble, birds carry an astonishing ability to process enormous amounts of information. As they travel, they remember rivers, forests, cities, coastlines, and even tiny landmarks that humans might never notice. Every successful migration adds another layer to an invisible map. But memory alone isn't enough, because sometimes those landmarks disappear. Storms change landscapes, forests are cleared, rivers shift their course, and still the birds keep going, which means they're following something far more reliable than what their eyes can see. Imagine holding a compass that never needs batteries, one that always points you in the right direction, no matter where you are on Earth. Scientists now believe many birds may carry something remarkably similar. Hidden inside their bodies, there may be tiny particles sensitive to Earth's magnetic field. Others may rely on specialized light-sensitive proteins inside their eyes, allowing them to detect magnetic information in ways humans simply can't. To us, Earth's magnetic field is invisible, silent, completely unnoticed, but to a migrating bird, it may be as obvious as a brightly painted highway stretching across the sky. Researchers have even conducted extraordinary experiments when they gently altered magnetic fields around certain birds. The birds changed direction, even though nothing else in their surroundings had changed. No new landmarks, no different weather, only an invisible force. Yet the mystery doesn't end there, because Earth's magnetic field is only one piece of a much larger puzzle. As daylight fades, another guide begins to appear: the stars. For thousands of years, humans have navigated using constellations. It now appears many birds may do something surprisingly similar. In carefully controlled studies, young birds placed beneath artificial night skies changed direction when researchers rotated the stars above them, not because the birds could recognize individual constellations, but because they seemed to understand the slow rotation of the entire night sky. Even the setting sun plays a role. Throughout the day, birds constantly compare the sun's position with an internal biological clock. Together, the sun, the stars, and Earth's magnetic field create overlapping navigation systems. If one guide becomes unreliable, another quietly takes over, like backup maps hidden inside nature itself. But sometimes, even all of those systems aren't enough. Imagine flying hundreds of miles only to encounter a violent storm, strong winds, pouring rain, towering clouds, and no visible landmarks below. Many birds are blown far from their normal migration routes. Some end up hundreds of miles away from where they intended to be. You might expect their journey to end there, but remarkably, many don't give up. Once the storm clears, they slowly correct their course, day after day, mile after mile, finding their way back toward destinations they've never stopped searching for. Scientists call this true navigation, not simply following a familiar route, but knowing where home is, even after being carried somewhere completely unfamiliar. Exactly how they accomplish this remains one of the greatest unanswered questions in animal navigation, and perhaps the most astonishing part is still waiting to be discovered. After decades of research, thousands of scientific studies, and millions of hours of observation, one question still refuses to disappear. How do birds combine all of these incredible abilities at the exact same time? Magnetic fields, the sun, the stars, landmarks, memory, smell, even tiny changes in polarized light, invisible to human eyes. Scientists know each of these pieces matters, but no single explanation fully solves the mystery. Some species rely more heavily on one system. Others appear to combine several, constantly checking one against another, like an aircraft using multiple navigation instruments. Nature has created something far more sophisticated than anyone once imagined. And despite our most advanced technology, birds continue accomplishing what many of our machines still struggle to match. The next time you look up and see birds crossing the sky, remember this: they aren't simply flying, they may be traveling along invisible paths that have existed for thousands of years, long before roads, long before maps, long before satellites. Generation after generation, these remarkable travelers have crossed oceans, mountains, deserts, and continents, guided by forces most of us will never even notice. Perhaps the greatest mystery isn't how far they fly, it's how nature placed such extraordinary navigation inside creatures, small enough to fit in the palm of your hand. Science continues searching for every answer, and every year, the birds quietly remind us that nature still holds secrets far beyond our understanding. So, the next time you see a flock disappearing over the horizon, ask yourself, what invisible road are they following? If this story changed the way you see bird migration, share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever witnessed a massive migration or wondered where those birds were going? We'd love to hear your story. And if you're fascinated by the hidden mysteries of birds and wildlife, subscribe to Winged Mysteries, because sometimes the greatest wonders of nature aren't the ones we can see. They're the invisible paths that have been there all along.